My God, I hate drugs.
Our guest today, Consultative Committee member and former Supreme Court Associate Justice Antonio Eduardo Nachura. Sir, balikan ko lang si Congress. So sabi niyo po kanina during the break, so yung nakasanayan natin, naboboto ka ng congressman, dalawa na iboboto mo. Isang congressman,
isang district representative, saka isang political party under what is known as a proportional representation system.
Pero siya si party list.
Yun ang parang ngayon, yung binuboto mo, partido rin eh. Partido rin. Kaya meron tayong mga, yung bayan muna, has been entitled to representation of at least 3 for the last.
Yeah, because of the proportion of votes they get. So,
ganon din ito ngayon.
Pero, okay.
Partido din, saka proportion pa rin.
Aha, so yung party list, ganun pa rin pala, pero partido na siya.
Partido.
But what do you mean by, ano yung partido?
Ngayon, kaya we will have a new article in the Constitution on political parties and political party reforms. Aha. Yun. Kailangan magrehistro ang partido. Kasi okay lang yun. Okay. Kailangan magrehistro at masabi doon ang kanilang totoong platforms and programs of government. That's it. Even now, that's also required. And then, there are 40% of the 400 translates to how many? 160
Nanatira. Yes, sir.
Okay. They will submit a list of their own candidates. Kung if they think that they can get all 160 seats,
pwede yun?
Pwedeng 160 names in the order in which they want their representatives to sit. So, minimum entitlement 5%. Of the total number of votes. 5% entitles you already immediately to one. Okay. Pero merong pang uling pag-allocate ng seats noon on the basis of
400.
Ilan muna lahat ang nakakuha ng 5%, etc. At
down the line.
Down the line.
And then we go back to the top.
Yes.
So I have a question, sir. If we look at the party list winners, you have party lists such as Ako Bicol, Gabriela, Juan Pacman, Teachers, pwede pa rin po silang...
Pwede pa rin. They have to register under new rules on registration of political parties, which will be promulgated by the COMELEC.
So here's the thing, Justice. You said that it didn't seem like the party list system was working, and yet we're still going to somehow keep the party list system here. What for?
You won't believe it, but... almost all the members of the current House of Representatives signed a manifesto asking the CONCOM to retain the party list system.
But you're not bound by that, sir.
Of course not. But
do you want to keep them?
No, that is why we have designed a better system, not exactly the party list system under the old law.
Yeah, okay.
We are going to do away with the old law, with old party list law, and we would like to design a new system of selecting.
Okay, let me just be maybe go into the critical part of the party list system, sir. Some say that it works. Some people don't say it works. Some say that it's a venue for people who cannot win or who have another person who have won in their districts, create a party list para po maging congressman or congresswoman sila. Does this new representation proposed in the CONCOM, does it solve that problem, sir?
No. It is still possible for some people to join a political party and seek political party nomination. Kung nandoon sila sa una ng listahan ng isang political party and the political party obtains a sufficient number of votes, then they have every right to sit. Pero ito naman, merong kunting which is really a concession to the present party list system. It's like this. During the first 3 elections under this new constitution, 1/2 of the total number of seats allotted to the proportional representation, we are talking of 160, half of 160, 80,
yes,
will be allotted to political parties who represent marginalized, economically marginalized sectors.
but that's the wisdom of the party list system,
that's
Justice.
right. But
Hindi
look,
ba?
that's right. But this time, only 5 marginalized, economically marginalized sectors.
Okay.
Labor, farmers, fisher folk, indigenous peoples, and urban poor.
Okay.
So, yun. May preferential rights sila to 50% of the total number of seats allotted.
Which is 80.
So
those 4 have
Five.
five have rights to 80.
To 80.
Representation.
Yes.
All right. Okay. I wish we could discuss this a little bit longer, Justice, but I'm sure it's a little bit more complex.
Yes,
But
that's
just to end the party list issue, sir, is this something you think can still work under a new framework?
Yes, because this is the practice in a lot of other countries in the world. Germany, France, the proportional representation.
But do they practice what is practiced here in the
No,
Philippines?
that is it. That was the original concept, I think, behind the party list system. But somehow it did not work out.
Okay. All right. This is controversial.
Yes.
Although this has not been finalized, sir, the Supreme Court. We're looking at... Oh, sorry. Before we go there, when we talked about the Senate, a question was, is this still going to be a 2-party system? How are senators going to be? Any party?
Anybody.
Ang ano lang talaga is President and Vice President.
President and Vice President.
Okay. Now let's go to the Supreme Court. Justice, 3 Supreme Courts and not appointed by the President.
Not all of them are appointed by the
So let's talk about just very briefly, sir, the 3. You have the Federal Supreme Court, the Federal Constitutional Court, and the Federal Administrative Court.
Yes, yes. I would like to tell you immediately that there is a 4th court we are talking about, we are also looking into, although not of the level of the Supreme Court. We are proposing that all election contests involving the President, the Vice President, senators, members of the House of Representatives, and regional and governors and vice governors be resolved by a special electoral tribunal.
Okay. So it's an electoral tribunal.
This is a special electoral tribunal we are trying to create here in the judiciary also.
Composed by elected, how are they appointed?
They are mainly appointed. We are proposing a 15-man court or tribunal, 5 to be appointed by the President, including the presiding justice, 5 to be appointed by Congress, by the Commission on Appointments, and 5 to be appointed by the Federal Supreme Court or by the Constitutional Court.
I see. Okay, so that's the 4th, huh?
That's the 4th. This is not really in the level of the Supreme Court, but it's the 4th judicial tribunal.
Justice, it's the PET. The Presidential Electoral Tribunal, basically.
It will replace the presidential, the Senate, and the House electoral tribunal.
Instead of, when there are contests, you go to the Senate for Senate. I get that. So, iba po yun. But there are 3. So, let's talk about the federal.
Okay.
I don't think we have enough time to talk about each one. But every court...
Briefly.
Sige, sir. Let's start with the
Supreme Court. Of course, it's basically the same Supreme Court, except that you limit the cases that are to be elevated to the Supreme Court. It has still appellate jurisdiction over cases from the lower courts. We are looking at the possibility that there may be a court of appeals in each region, and so their decisions may still be reviewed by the Supreme Court. That's possible.
By the Federal Supreme Court.
Supreme Court. Okay. But
Federal
questions
Constitutional Court.
involving constitutionality, including constitutionality of laws and of executive orders, etc., this is removed from the Supreme Court now.
Yeah.
It goes to the Constitutional Court.
I see.
Yun.
And then the Administrative Court.
Siyam din ang members ng Constitutional Court.
Yes.
Ang Administrative Court naman, special din ang kanyang jurisdiction. Basically, appeal. You appeal from the Civil Service Commission. Ngayon, if you appeal from the Civil Service Commission, you go to the Court of Appeals. You appeal from the Supreme Court, from the Commission on Elections, you go to the Supreme Court. From the Commission on Audit, you go to the Supreme Court. And yun then you have a lot of other administrative bodies. Itong third court natin will be the appellate court for all of these decisions made by itong lahat ng administrative bodies.
Again, we'll be taking a short break. This is a source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned.